Good evening, everybody, program director. It's always interesting that whenever I get to speak with large audiences, it's quite nice because then you find that people actually end up speaking whilst I'm speaking, so I don't have to focus so much on speaking. When it's this intimate and this small, all of a sudden I have to think about what I'm going to say. So thank you very much for this one, Daniel, much appreciated. In 2007, South Africa won the Rugby World Cup. And whilst we were busy celebrating, there was this huge applause. We were caught up in this euphoria of the moment. You know, I was there amongst so many other great players. And I recall the time when Thabo Mbeki, our president, was there. And it's the one thing, you know, like you're standing there and you're dancing, you're going around and everybody's shouting and the light goes off and it's fireworks. The next thing I went down, shoop, I come back up and the president is right on my shoulder and we're dancing. The security guys come running. I said, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. I said, Mr. President, don't worry, you're fine. Just relax, relax. You know, so we're going and everything is just all up in the moment. I can recall that at that point it was like time was standing still. But one thing that a lot of people didn't know, 4 years prior to that night, Jake White in a team meeting, we were seated the same as each and every one of you in this room. And Jake White came and he said to us, in our very first team meeting, 2004, May of 2004 in Bloemfontein, he wrote a date on the back of the board and he said, on this date, 20 October 2007, I want all of you guys to know that you will be crowned as world champions. You see, the reality is, in life, we sometimes go through life random. Whatever point we get to, we say that is where we're destined to be. But how often do we take a moment in time and create our own date with destiny? So I say, what is your date? What have you written down as your date, your time when you will achieve your greatest goal ever in life? Because if you look at when Jake White said we're going to win the World Cup, it was at the backdrop of a Kamstaldraad. It was at the backdrop of the worst ever history in South African rugby, where we were at that time 5th in the world, which if you look at it, is probably the worst that we've ever been. So here comes a coach, and he says to each and every single one of us in that room, that we will be crowned world champions 4 years prior to that, or 4 years after the date that you were saying it. Now, the thing is, if you think about it, there was many great players in that room, but a lot of them never managed to get to that specific night. I was injured twice throughout the entire 4 years, and both times the doctor said to me, I will never ever be able to play again. But the reality is, if you put your date down, you put your head down and you keep on moving forward no matter what life throws at you, I guarantee you when the time comes, when that final whistle blows, in your own life, whatever it is that you want to achieve, you will get to win your World Cup. You're supposed to clap for that, thanks. But as any great story goes, I think the story has a beginning and then it moves towards an end. So my beginning was as a young boy in a little small town called Caledon in the Western Cape. There I was, and you know, like life is not this linear thing. There's certain spots that we pick out and remember, especially growing up. And one of those spots for me was when my teacher was standard 3, grade 5, as my daughter say. So grade 5, my teacher comes walking into the classroom the one morning, and he said, boys and girls, today I want to know what it is that you'd like to become in life one day. So there I was. He went alphabetically and eventually got to W, Willemse, and I stood up very confidently and said, sir, I would like to one day win an Olympic gold medal. I was inspired with the likes of Frankie Fredericks. I was a good runner, I was a long jumper and a high jumper, and athletics was my first love. And I firmly believed with every part of my being that I can one day win an Olympic gold medal. As my luck would have it, on the weekend was our school's annual athletics meeting. My best friend at the time, a boy by the name of Arnold Solier, was also my biggest rival. And Arnold decided to, on that weekend, choose every single event that I was competing in. So Monday, or the weekend came, Monday morning came, and Arnold Solier ended up beating me in every single event that we competed against each other. Now you can know, as we've all done, that walk of shame. You know, you come walking in, you check the classroom, and you see everybody's head is down, and you go towards your desk, you just slide in, and I'm checking, and I see everybody's still fine, nobody's saying a single word, and there I was, and I recall what I said last week, but no one is saying any single thing, so it's fine, they've forgotten. And eventually Mr. Wallace comes in, so he starts writing on the board. And as I was seated, Mr. Wallace, I check him, he's fine. Look around the classroom, and all of a sudden, shoo, this hand goes up. And it was a boy by the name of Nico. Now you see Nico, a little bit of background about Nico. Nico is as insignificant as a fart in the wind. In Cape Town, it sounds better. Soos 'n poep in die wind. But Nico's hand was up. Eventually, Mr. Wallace couldn't ignore it, so he turns and said, "Yes, Nico, what's wrong?" And Nico got up confident. He said, "Sir, last week there was someone in this class that said he would like to win an Olympic gold medal. Well, what happened was on the weekend he got beaten by Arnold Salier. Now no one is saying a single word about it. I think it's unfair." Now here's the thing. In the classroom, it was like a tsunami of laughter that broke out. Every single one was like literally killing themselves laughing. But here's the thing. Imagine, just imagine for a second, that you were that someone that Nico was referring to. See, I don't care how successful you are. I don't care where you come from, where you're going. Each and every one of us at some point in our lives have encountered a Nico. The people that sit on the fence, they don't stand up for anything that they believe in. You don't know what it is that they want to achieve in life, but yet they're willing to criticize your every single move. They're willing to criticize you for having the guts to be able to believe in something. So every single person in their lives at one point or the other have encountered a Nico. But you see, I've thought about this thing long and hard, and I can't blame Nico. Nico is the product of the society that we're born and raised up into. You're born to believe that you can never achieve anything beyond the borders of the school. You're born to believe that your destiny is to be able to find yourself working in the town. You can't move beyond the boundaries of the town. That is what we're born and raised to believe at that particular moment. So I can't blame Nico. Nico is the classic victim mentality. You know, the people that they are who they are because of others. People have told them they and that, so they continue that whole thing moving forward. But after all these years, I've come to realize I have absolutely no idea where Nico is, what Nico is doing, whether or not Nico's achieved his goal. But I can guarantee you one thing and one thing only. Nico knows where Ashwin Willemse is, what Ashwin Willemse is doing, and whether or not Ashwin has achieved his goal. I was fortunate when I finally got to high school. I got to meet someone who became a friend, a mentor. He was my first rugby coach, and he was also my English teacher. Hence, unlike our former Springbok coach, Peter de Villiers, my English is much more delicious. But he was a great guy. He was the type of guy that was willing to believe in us at a time when we did not believe in ourselves. It's tough when you grow up and you don't have role models. It's tough when you grow up in a household where you get raised single-handedly by your mother with the assistance of your grandparents. When you grow up and the only people that you aspire to become, the only people you look up to are the gangsters in the streets. They are the most successful people that you are aware of in your lifetime and in your lifestyle. So as a result, that is what we aspired to become. That is what we looked forward. That was our epitome of success. It is what we firmly and fundamentally believed was that we one day want to be the biggest and baddest gangster on the street. So it's tough when you grow up in those moments. You know, complacency, I firmly believe, is a dream killer. Complacency have the ability to take great men and bring them back to earth, ground level, and make of them ordinary people, because we lose what it was that made us who we became. The ability to work hard and never stop and continue to pursue the best that we can deliver. So there I was, SA under 19 trials. There was 32 players. I was one of the 32 players. The coach said to us, I will select at the end of this week 30 players. And that 30 players will go to France, and that is where we'll play the Junior World Cup. So I started counting. I looked around the room and I started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 black guys. I'm in. They need 7. I'm in. I thought to myself, listen, I know the quota system is in my favor. I know that I'm one of only 2 guys that have ever played senior provincial rugby. So guess what? I'm in. I started calling my cousins and my friends. I said, listen, I'm going overseas. I won't be able to attend that thing. So just know I won't be here. Get ready. I'm going. End of the week, the coach said, listen, guys, I'm going to make this quick. Instead of going to the entire 30 players, I'm going to make this quick. I'll announce the 2 names that didn't make the squad. So he mentioned first name. I looked at the guy like, wow, he was quite a good guy. Great center to play with, but unfortunately this poor dude sucks. And Ashwin, hey, coach, whoa. Coach, don't make jokes, huh? Ashwin Willemse. I said, coach, no, man. Seriously? It can't be. I was one of 2 players that was kicked out of the squad to go to the SA Under-19s World Cup. This was in 2000. So imagine, out of all the black guys, I'm the one that they kick out. Out of all the players there, I'm one of 2 that have played senior provincial rugby. Now, if you understand the dynamics, that if you've played senior, you're supposed to be a starter, mostly probably even captain or one of the seniors in the team. So the only 2 guys that didn't make it was the senior players. Now, you young, you've got a whole future ahead of you. You've been successful in whatever it is that you try to do. The question is, will you allow complacency now to take you away from your dreams and what you can achieve? All I had to do at that moment was just accept it and realize that I am to blame. I failed myself and my dreams by not giving it all that I could. So what did I do? Dusted off my feathers, got over my ego, and I said, I will try again. And the next year, when the coach started and they selected the team, and they started reading out the names of the SA Under-21s who's now going to Australia, and he finally got to the W's, and he mentioned the name Ashwin Willemse, I went, yes! Because you see, at that moment it was a yes. Not because I made the team, but because I got strapped down in business class with my guy next to me, passport in the hand, traveler's checks. I looked out of the window and I said, hey, Muna, we going to Australia! You see, if you frequent overseas regularly, it's not a big deal. But hey, man, come on. If you come from there and you're sitting here and you go in there, you're like, I win. Why it was significant was because at the end of the tournament, I got home and I had a gift for every Tom, Dick, and Jabulani on the street. I went to Auntie Joan, I went to this one and that one. And it's in that moment that I realized we sometimes fail to enjoy our small successes in life. But yet we want to allow the small failures to put us down. There's a small failures in your journey and you want to get all depressed about it and you want to quit and give up, take your life and give up on your life. But when you have a small success, you're not willing to enjoy and to celebrate. Because if I didn't take on all of these challenges in my life, I would have never been able to get to the point in my life where in 2003, after a lot of challenges, I was drafted into the Springbok team. And when I was drafted into that Springbok team, it was against challenges because there I was one of 5 wings, and they chose me. So they gave me half a chance, and I started working on that. And eventually, at the end of the year, we were at the end of the year final awards dinner, and they started announcing now the top players in South Africa. And they started off with the first awards, and the Master of Ceremonies went and they said, ladies and gentlemen, South African Rugby Newcomer of the Year for the year 2003, please put your hands together for the nominees. Boom, 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 boom. And the girl says, and the winner is Ashwin Willemse. I said, okay, fine. Got up, went, thank you very much, went back, got to my seat, sat down, and then the night continues and finally got to. And the next award, ladies and gentlemen, is South African Rugby Players Player of the Year. This is where your peers get to choose the top player in the country. It's a very significant award because as a result of their performance, your peers are the ones that select who this player will be. So the nominees, boom, boom, boom. And ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Ashwin Willemse. So I got up, went to the front, got the award, came back, seated down, and it was a big awards dinner. I said to the guys in the table, I said, listen, now please can we start drinking and celebrating because this is me for the night. You know, and the night continued. Eventually, at the end of the evening, the master of ceremonies got up and he said, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the penultimate award. This is in a country where there's a hierarchy. There's God, there's Mandela, and there's rugby. This award in itself is arguably the greatest gift ever to be bestowed on any rugby player in the Republic of South Africa. Great men have played and tried to win this award, and yet they have failed. So without any further ado, let us take a look at the nominees for the South African Rugby Player of the Year 2013, or 2003. Boom, so there's the awards. Took out the envelope, and he said, ladies and gentlemen, can you please put your hand together and give him a rock star round of applause for the winner, South African Rugby Player of the Year for the year 2003, Ashwin Willemse. When I got to 2004 and we played the end of the year Grand Slam tours, where we go England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, then we make the big trip over to Argentina. Our first game was in Cardiff when we played Wales. I came off the bench in that game. The second game was a significant game. It was the last game ever to be played at the old Lansdowne Road Stadium before it got torn down. In that game, I started on the left wing, jersey number 11. On the right wing for South Africa in his 50th Test match was none other than Brayton Paulson. At the end of the game, went to the change room. We got two jerseys. One you can keep and the other one you can swap with your opposite number. On the front of his jersey was written Brayton Paulson 50 Test, the date and the team that we played against. I took my one jersey, walked across the change room, and I said to him, Brayton, would you be so kind to swap your one jersey with me so I can keep it? He was confused. And I said to him, don't be confused. I said, regardless of where I am today, I'll never ever forget the impact that a stranger made in my life. You were a stranger to me at one point, but yet you are willing to invest in a person you don't know. I said, today I'm seated in the same change room with you. We're wearing the same jerseys. So you giving me your jersey means more to me than what you can ever imagine. I don't know how to thank you, but this is my way of saying to you, thank you for being the difference. Thank you for being the difference in the life of one young person who could have so easily gone a different route. Now, me being here tonight is to say thank you to you, and everyone in this room for being the difference in so many people's life out there that you have never met before, and you'll most probably never get to meet. But I want to encourage you to whenever the desire to stop to do good, whenever the desire is so overwhelming that you want to give up on doing good, just remember, if it was not for people like you, that young skinny kid with this funny nickname called Stava, running the Cape Flats as a gangster and a drug dealer, would never become the Ashwin Willemse of today. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to say to all of you, thank you, and thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Gilan and I'm on the Young Drivers Great Ideas Committee. Young Drivers is a group of young, driven members who are really striving to make a difference in the world. And we want you to join us by becoming a member today. Your membership fee will allow you to attend all of our live events for free. And this will be for less than what you would typically pay to go out for dinner. Our membership fees enable us to do amazing outreach programs, for example, putting children through school and feeding thousands of senior citizens, even building libraries in underprivileged areas. Follow this link, become a member today, and start making a difference.